All right, hello, welcome to the next video. So we're going to talk about 5.3 today. So the double and half angle formulas, okay? So let's go ahead, I'm going to derive them first, at least the double angle formulas. So let's derive the double angle formulas first. Okay, you guys don't need to know this derivation. It's not even a very hard one. Okay, it's just so that you guys know things don't magically come out of nowhere. They come out of somewhere, okay? So if we have the cosine and sine addition formulas, so let's take sine of theta 1 plus or minus theta 2. Remember that's sine theta 1 cosine theta 2 minus or plus sine theta 2 cosine theta 1, okay? And if we have theta 1 equals theta 2, which is, we're going to call it theta, not 0, okay? Write that theta better. The three lined equal signs means I'm just saying I'm making a definition, okay? So if that's true, then what do we reduce to? We're going to get sine 2 theta equals, well, we're going to have sine theta cosine theta, and we're going to have that's a mistake. That should have been plus or minus. Remember, the sine has the same sign, okay? Plus or minus. And so we're going to get the same. We're going to get 2 sine theta cosine theta, okay? Now, that's the first one. Sine of 2 theta equals 2 sine theta cosine theta. Cosine theta 1 plus or minus theta 2, that's equal to cosine theta 1 cosine theta 2 minus or plus sine theta 1 sine theta 2. Okay, so you let theta 1 equals theta 2 being some theta. Okay, so then when you add them together, you're going to get cosine of 2 theta equals, now we're going to have cosine squared of theta. Now it's going to be minus sine squared of theta. Okay, so this is the cosine and sine double angle formulas. Now there is a tangent double angle formula as well. Okay, just for completeness. Okay, so if we can go there one of two ways. We could go with the tangent formula from 5.2, or we could just go from here saying this is sine of 2 theta over cosine of 2 theta. So that's going to be 2 sine theta cosine theta over cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. And then we could divide out, what is it, cosine of theta, cosine squared of theta, okay? So if we divide out cosine squared of theta, it's a common trick, okay? So watch me again. I know that this is sometimes confusing. 2, now, sine divided by one of these cosines gives us tangent of theta. Cosine divided by one of these cosines gives us 1. So we're going to get 2 tangent of theta in the numerator. In the denominator, cosine squared divided by cosine squared is 1 minus sine squared of theta divided by cosine squared is tan squared. Okay, and now these are going to cancel. So tangent of 2 theta equals 2 tan theta 1 minus tan squared of theta. Okay, which is the same if you think about it as, if you go the other way, And actually, I actually go the opposite way. I usually think of these when I try to think of how the, or not anymore, but when I was having trouble remembering these formulas, I would usually start from these and then work my way back. Okay, but now from here, I can work my way back to the tangent formula. So that's, now I remember it's tangent theta 1 plus or minus tangent theta 2 divided by 1 minus tangent theta 1 tangent theta 2. Okay? All right. Normally, though, we'll never use those because we're already finding these things. Okay? So let's go ahead and do a problem. Number 12. Number 12 in the section says the following. It says secant of theta is negative square root of 3, and sine of theta is greater than 0. Find sine of 2 theta, cosine of 2 theta, and tangent of 2 theta. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find those three things. All right, so let's start by, as usual, drawing a picture. Okay, so secant of theta, remember, is the reciprocal of cosine. So, give myself a little more space, just a smidge to do this problem. Okay, so, like I was saying, secant of theta is the reciprocal of cosine. So secant of theta equals negative square root of 3 is equivalent to saying cosine theta is negative 1 over root 3. Okay, so where is cosine negative? Remember, cosine is negative because cosine's with the x coordinate. So that's on this side of things, right? So we're either in the second or third quadrant. Okay, but now sine is greater than 0. So that means we're going to have to be in this third quadrant. All right, I'm going to draw this triangle. This triangle has an adjacent side, negative 1. The hypotenuse is square root of 3. Square root of 3 squared is 3. So this side is square root of 2. Okay, just if I want to do that in pen, I have to think, okay, negative 1 squared plus y squared equals 3. Okay, so y squared equals 2. Y is plus or minus root 2. And we take the positive because we know sine of theta is greater than 0. Okay, so now, okay, move this even further. Okay, sine of 2 theta. We look at our formula from above. Oh, sine of 2 theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. Erase some of this. But there we go. So sine of theta is 2 sine theta cosine theta. So now, I'm going to go ahead and plug that in. Okay, so I'm going to take, that's 2 sine of theta. What's sine of theta here? Remember, this represents our angle. Sine of theta is root 2 over 3. Or root 2 over root 3, sorry. cosine theta is -1 over root 3. Okay, so we're going to get -2 root 2 over 3. Okay. Remember, the root 3 times root 3 becomes 3 in the denominator. 2 times root 2 times -1 just combines to give us that. Okay? Similarly, cosine of 2 theta. Cosine of 2 theta, that's cosine squared of theta minus sine squared of theta. Play the same game. Okay. Cosine squared of theta, we have over here is 1 over root 3, actually negative, but that's okay because it's going to be squared. I love squaring because it gets rid of negative not signs. I don't need to worry. I don't need to think so hard about it. Minus sine is root 2 over root 3. And we're going to have that squared. Okay, so that's going to give us 1 minus 2 over 3, -1/3. Okay, so sine of 2 theta is -2 root 2 over 3. Cosine of 2 theta is -1/3. Tangent of 2 theta. Well, that's just sine divided by cosine, right? Okay, so that's going to be, that's -2 root 2 divided by 3 divided by -1/3. So those negative signs are going to cancel. Remember, this flips. Okay, so the 3's are going to cancel, and I just get -2 root 2. All right, I'll see you all in the next video.